2021. The 2022 total more than doubled the number of battery-related fires from 2021 and quadrupled the number of such fires in 2020. Clearly, this city is faced with a severe public safety concern. These 5 bills that we will vote on today, which I will now detail, aim to protect customers from dangerous products and increase public awareness regarding the fire safety risks posed by lithium-ion batteries and motorized bikes and scooters. Introduction number 656A, sponsored by Councilmember Brewer, requires the fire department to develop an informational campaign to educate the public on fire risks posed by powered mobility devices. Intro 663A, sponsored by Councilmember Feliz, prohibits the sale of power mobility devices and storage batteries for powered mobility devices that are not approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Intro number 772A, sponsored by Councilmember Holden, requires the fire department to report on safety measures to mitigate fire risk associated with power mobility devices. Intro 749A, sponsored by Councilmember Aviles, relates to providing food delivery workers with information on safety measures that mitigate the fire risks posed by powered mobility devices. And intro number 752A, sponsored by Councilmember Brewer, prohibits the sale of a storage battery composed of cells removed from the used storage batteries and make it unlawful to assemble or recondition a lithium-ion battery using cells removed from used storage batteries. I will now invite our bill sponsors to speak on their bills. Councilmember Holden.
Thank you, Chair. And today we are voting on my bill, Intro 722A, as part of a package of bills, like the Chair said, addressing the tragic fires caused by unregulated batteries in e-bikes, e-scooters, and other powered mobility devices. My bill would require the fire department to report annually on each fire involving a powered mobility device, an annual review of the existing fire code and regulations pertaining to the powered mobility devices, and a summary of actions taken by the FDNY to reduce these types of fires. Now, again, I want to thank the Speaker and Chair Areola and the 11 co-sponsors who helped move this bill through the legislative process. I also want to thank the Legislative Division and my staff for their help. The Council is taking important steps here to prevent future fires from occurring, but more needs to be done. We need Albany to pass legislation requiring these devices to be licensed, insured, and registered. This is why I've also introduced Intro 758, requiring that every bicycle with electric assist, electric scooter, and other legal motorized vehicles that are not otherwise required to be registered by the DMV be registered with the DOT and receive an identifying number, which would be displayed on a visible plate affixed to the vehicle, like other vehicles we have on the streets of New York City. These fires have caused too much heartache already in our city, and these devices have become dangerous on our streets, our sidewalks, and of course, in our homes. And let's work together to resolve this matter quickly, and I thank the Chair again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to hear from Councilmember Riley. I'm sorry, Councilmember Feliz.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chair Areola. New Yorkers are very concerned about the sharp rise in fires related to e-bike batteries. New Yorkers are concerned, and their concerns are real. Last year, we had approximately 220 fires in 365 days. 220 fires. That's a fire every day and a half. And this year, the numbers are very similar. We just concluded the month of February, and we've already had approximately 25 to 30 fires caused by these batteries. These fires are a problem. These fires are powerful, and they're also destructive. They destroy our homes, they displace our families, and they put our lives at risk. We cannot wait for another tragedy to happen like the one that we saw last year in Twin Parks. So I'm proud to be joining all my colleagues in taking action to help resolve this fire safety challenge. We also know that not all batteries have created these problems. Batteries that are certified have gone through safety testing, which help ensure that these batteries have tools that prevent malfunctions that lead to fires, and that is what my bill will be requiring that batteries, before they're sold, that they go through safety testing and that they get certified. So I want to thank all my colleagues that have taken action. This is a very thorough package to help resolve the growing problem related to e-bike batteries, and I want to thank you all for working on this. And this is only a first package. We still have more work to do, and I look forward to continuing to work with all of you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Chair Ariola, for your leadership.
Thank you, Councilmember Feliz. We will now hear from Councilmember Gail Brewer.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, because you've been interested in this from the beginning of our discussions, and I appreciate it. I also want to thank all of the deliveristas and the people, 65,000 of them, who are delivering our food. I think it was actually Councilmember Feliz and others who, when we were in Albany for the conference, there was even a bicycle. Thank goodness nobody was around, but the battery blew up on the plaza in Albany. I saw it myself. So this is not just individuals who are concerned generally, it is a real fire hazard. Councilmember Feliz gave some of the numbers, but just to repeat, in 21, there are 104 fires, 79 injuries, and 4 deaths. 22, 216 fires, 147 injuries, 6 deaths. And today, to date in 23, 22 fires, 36 injuries, and 2 deaths. And people, particularly in communities where there are individuals who are delivering food, one of the hardest jobs, give them so much credit, but when they're in the elevator with the bicycle, then I get calls, I'm sure others do, concerned. And so we have to be aware. We hope that this package helps. One of my bills, 656, basically asks the fire department to do what they are doing, which is to give out information about the concerns, the fire risks posed by these devices. And then the other one, which is the bill that has a little bit more teeth, 752. And again, we're just trying to figure out how we can be successful in supporting the deliveristas at the same time being safe. One of the challenges of these batteries is that when you have 3 batteries a day, you're working goodness knows how many hours, you need to charge them, and then you also need to be safe. So this bill talks about not reselling batteries that had lithium-ion batteries that use cells removed from used storage batteries. In layman's terms, to me, that's a battery that has been reconstituted in certain different ways. And the good news is it might make us safer. The bad news is a new battery is going to cost more. So the question to me is, how do the apps, the big Seamless, Uber Eats, Grubhub, how do they help with some of these costs? And so we're saying today, let's be safe, but at the same time, we're concerned about charging. We want to make sure that there's a place to charge. Now, what's happening is, to the credit of the fire department, they are going to the places where these batteries are being sold and stating, you could be selling something that's dangerous, make it new battery, even though they don't have the authorization, or the seller doesn't have to do that until we pass some of this legislation. I mention this because it makes it even harder to get things charged. So the deliveristas are in a bind. We have to make sure they're not in a bind by getting them places to charge, and at the same time making sure that the batteries are safe. So this is a new disruptor. We had Uber, we had Airbnb, and this is a new disruptor that we need to make sure works in our city, because it delivers food when people can't get to the store, survived the pandemic with the help of these deliveristas, and now we have to figure out how they can be safe. They can be safe at home. We can all be safe at home at the same time. They can do their job. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I strongly urge the committee members, many of who are sponsoring, like myself, these bills, to vote aye on the package of legislation which aims to protect all New Yorkers from deadly fires. I'd now like to yield the microphone to the clerk for a vote.
Good morning. William Martin, Committee Clerk, roll call vote, Committee on Fire and Emergency Management. All items are coupled. Chair Ariola.
Aye on all.
Holden.
Permission to explain.
Of course.
I do think this package is great. I do, like I said before, more has to be done. With 663A, the bill that would ban the sale, allowing 180 days for the storekeeper to get rid of these illegal batteries or these batteries that explode. They're ticking time bombs. We're giving them 180 days, folks, to dump them on the market to make our homes more dangerous. I would not, and this is what I do have a problem with that in the bill, but I'm still going to vote for it, but I wish that we could make some kind of deal here that 30 days, or just, again, ban the sale, period, and not allow these ticking time bombs in our homes. I don't get it. If we had something, if we had a high chair that folded and would endanger or catch fire or something, we would take it off the market, wouldn't we? Why are we allowing these batteries that can explode at any time because they're improperly charging these vehicles to again, be on the market for 6 months? So I'm voting yes, aye on all. However, I do have reservations about that bill. I wish it could be, as soon as the mayor signs this law, they can't be sold. That's common sense.
Riley.
Aye.
Gennaro.
I vote aye, and I wish to be associated with the remarks of Councilmember Holden.
Feliz.
Permission to explain my vote. I just want to thank all my colleagues for your leadership on these bills. I also look forward to working on a second legislative package, working with all of you and also our deliveristas. These bills tackle a lot of the different layers related to e-bike batteries, but we need additional legislation, which we've already started working on, including working on a swap program to make sure that these safe e-bike batteries are accessible to all New Yorkers. But I vote aye on all, and I want to thank you all for all the work all of you have done. And I also want to thank, I see Andrea Vasquez from the Legislative Division, everyone who has been working behind the scenes to make this possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. De La Rosa.
Madam Chair, permission to explain my vote?
Of course.
Thank you. I want to thank all of you for the leadership. There was a devastating fire in my own district just a few weeks ago, and I understand really the urgency of this package of legislation. So I thank you all for your leadership. I do want to speak on behalf of the workforce that is dependent and reliant on these bicycles in order to make 12, 14, 16 hours of work happen daily. That means they need, as Councilman Brewer said, several batteries at a time. Remember that this is a population that is marginalized, oftentimes living in apartments that are overcrowded with no storage possibilities or options for them to store their e-bikes. They also have, unfortunately, to depend on cheaper products that have caused this unsafety across our city. And so I just look forward to us centering the voices of those workers, continuing to have these conversations and listening actively to this workforce that we all depended on during the pandemic. If you ordered a burger, if you ordered, a bowl of salad during the pandemic because you couldn't go outside, these were the workers that risked their lives to bring you your food. They are the workers that live in our communities and that traverse our city every single day. And so I look forward to being an active partner with our colleagues in presenting the follow-up package of bills that I hope includes this swap, this idea of a battery swap. We need to make sure that there are financial incentives as well for these swaps to happen, and these companies should have a stake in ensuring that their workers are safe. And so I probably vote aye on this package of legislation, and I look forward to the second package that I think will address some of the issues of these workers. I also want to take an opportunity to thank my colleague Oswald Feliz, because we've had some tough conversations. There's nothing but love here. We've had some tough conversations, but he's been a gentleman throughout this process, and I look forward to working with you and others to make sure that we get this done. So I vote aye. Thank you.
Schulman.
Permission to explain my vote? Yes. I think that this is a good package. I agree that we need to do something in terms of the deliveristas, but to my colleague, Councilmember De La Rosa, I just want to say that I also have been talking to folks in the Ledge Division about holding these companies more responsible for the bikes and the what they send out in terms of the deliveristas. So with that, I vote aye on all.
Carr.
With congratulations to all my colleagues passing legislation today, I vote aye on all.
By a vote of 8 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, all items have been adopted by the committee.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and I just would like to thank our committee counsel, Josh Kingsley, and senior analyst, Will Hongash, for all the work that they put in for our committee and for this vote today. Thank you.